Audio.etc is proudly supported by Auto Sound and Security.
Good morning guys, how's it going? James here at Audio.etc. Continuing on the Audi today. I've just done the speaker wires for the left hand side and now I'm waiting for the amp to arrive. So I decided to get an early start before I started filming and get some of the tedious work done, work you've seen me do before, but I thought I'd just quickly show you what I've done before I put the carpet back down. The speaker wires for the left hand side have been spiral wrapped in Tessa tape to match the factory wiring, and they've been run along with the factory loom. Up under here, the rear left wire pops out of here, comes up with the left door loom and connects into the factory wires up here, and obviously the front left one continues along. It's all cable tied all the way along as well, and then that joins right up there in the darkness in the kick panel. So that's all good now. I've just done a polarity check to make sure that I've got my polarities all correct, which I do. So now I can get the carpet back down and put the seat back in, put the battery back in, and then start putting the car back together a bit more. And I'm pretty much just waiting for the amp to arrive now. Hopefully it arrives today. If it doesn't, it'll be a wee bit annoying. So this just goes down here. And these pop under here. Pop. This goes down under here. 1, 2, like that. Cool. And now, wait, this needs to go behind here. Like that. Cool. That's all good. That's right. That's how that goes. Cool. Ready for the seat to be put back in now. Or do I want to put some of the car back together first, since it's easier? I think I might. It's probably easier putting these panels all on without the seat in. Let's do that. Okay guys, so got it all back together. Pretty much I've done everything in the car that I can now, essentially, short of putting the amp in. Apart from one thing that I've been looking at doing, and that's disconnecting the center speaker. Didn't really know how to get it out of there, so I took to the internet, and as reliable as it is, the internet provided. And oops, glove box is fixed by the way, but I just don't want to pull it down too hard because I don't want to break the epoxy connection down here where I fixed it. I didn't break that. He asked me to fix it because it was broken, just saying, because I know someone will go, oh, he broke the glove box. But yeah, it was broken down here and just flopping about, so I fixed it with some epoxy. But I just want to be careful with it because there's the big regulator in here which slows down its open and close speed, and I don't want to pull on it too hard. But anyway, back to the speaker. Found a forum online, and someone knew how to get this apart. They said first take off this little cover, which normally sits up in the middle here. Under that there was a screw that was holding down this little doodacky receiver sensor thing. Pulled that up, unplugged it, then there was a bolt holding the whole thing down, popped that all up and out. It was pretty easy actually. And then there were 2 bolts holding in the corners of the speaker, and I didn't know if the speaker was going to come out of here, but amazingly it did, through this tiny little hole. It kind of goes in like that and then flops down, but it wasn't easy. It like kind of popped up because it looks like these things on the side here kind of lock it in, and then the screws hold it. But yeah, I managed to get the front up, lift up like that, and then up and out. Now I can just disconnect it like that, and I think I will put it back in just for the sake of it being factory, but I'm gonna stick the wiring out the front there. So now that it's disconnected, this goes back in like that. You have to kind of push forward and down at the same time like that. There we go, and that's how it's set. Now, where are they? Oh, these are the 2 screws, bolts that, don't go down there. These are the 2 bolts that held it in. go, that's that. And then the next thing to go on was this. Just poke the sensor wire through the hole there. And then this thing pretty much does just pop straight down, without losing the wire. For some reason it doesn't want to. There we go, like that. Cool. And then a little Phillips screw goes in here. It's very hard to see, but it's right, whereabouts is it, in the back corner? Goes down there. And this gets plugged back on. I don't know if this is the receiver for the like keyless entry or if it's a light sensor or what, but there we go. That just then goes back down there, and another little screw goes through that corner there. And then this just goes like this. Ta-da! There we go. And I disconnected that because when I was doing earlier testing with the amp and the front right speaker going, that center speaker was just so sharp and disgusting sounding compared to the nice new Focal woofers and tweeters in the doors, and it was just overtaking it and it sounded terrible. So I've disconnected it and we're going to be going off just all of the door speakers and the sub. So there we go. The front is pretty much entirely back together. I don't want to put the back seats back in yet because really the amp needs to go in first so that this panel can go on, so that that side panel piece can be tightened up, and then after all of that the rear seats can go back in and that trim. Oh, this can go on. Oh wait, is this off the... Oh, this must be for that seat. I've put the wrong one in. Yeah, I've put a rear seat one in here, my bad. That still goes up and down. Cool. So this must be for that back seat there, and I can move this seat back forward as well now because it makes my life in the back easier. Sweet, so now just literally waiting on the amp to arrive. Was supposed to arrive this morning, don't know. We're gonna have to chase them up about it. Maybe it's the couriers, maybe it's the supplier, who knows. But yeah, that's what we're waiting on. In the meantime, I'll tidy up this area a wee bit, organize things, make sure like the job sheet is fully documented and everything like that. Have some lunch and maybe that'll be enough time for the amp to arrive and we can continue. Yeah.
One eternity later.
Here we go, guys. Managed to keep myself busy until it arrived. 12:30 in the afternoon. It was picked up at the courier place at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's only taken 4 hours to get across our town to us. Slow couriers. But it's, I suppose, winning, and I suppose it's pros and cons because that particular supplier doesn't charge us for courier or freight from Auckland. So it's good that it's free, but it's bad when you're waiting on product. Why are they always, like literally, this is the third one of these that has got like a squished box. My one came like this, the previous one for this car came like this. Come on. They always are squished here and I don't know why. Seriously, like whoever's, I don't know if it's who's packaging them or how they're stored or what, but man, it's a bit concerning. Alright, let's look at the birth sheet for this one. Pass, 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 pass. Short protect, here we go. Short protect on all channels. Pass, 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 pass. Pass, pass, pass. Bias, whatever that is not applicable, and infrared pass. Channel 1s, channels TH, V, bias, IR, I don't know what those all mean, but the misters, nothing out of the ordinary, I guess. 1135 watts total RMS. Here's the amp. Did they send it down without the parts? Okay, so I asked them to send it down without the attachment parts for all the connections, but they have still sent it with the subwoofer and power ones connected. So I wonder if that means we have to send them back up to them or not. Oh well, let's chuck it in. I'm really thinking this isn't going to take me too long. Oh, but before I plug it in, I'm going to double check the impedance of every single speaker wire and check that none of them are going to ground. Okay, so let's check the impedance of all the speakers first. Rear left, 3.7 ohms. Rear right, 3.6 ohms. Makes sense, the rear right has got less wire going to it than the rear left, so it's slightly different. Front right, 3.6 ohms. Front left, 3.9 ohms. And that makes sense because that goes a long way. Okay, so they're all good. Let's now do just check that none of those are going to ground. This one should go to ground. Yep, but these ones should not. Nope, 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 nope. Subwoofer wires, nope, no, and I'm just going to check that the subwoofer wires don't have any impedance on them because there's nothing connected. Nope, nothing on them. Sweet, everything is good at that end. What I can do now is hook it up to power and RCA and do the tuning again, which is easy. Let's plug the RCAs in first. Front, rear is that one, and sub, tiny little plugs. Front, rear, and sub, okay. And we want the sub input on, the infrasonic filter on, high all pass filter, EQs all on minimum frequencies for the all pass don't matter, and the low pass filter is all the way up to max. Great. Okay, so now I can plug it into power like that. Let's check we have proper voltage. Volts, we have 15 volts. That's good. Geez, 15, that's high. 15.7 volts. Jesus. Right, have I got the charger on? Turn the battery charger off. Let's see what it's at now. 13.57. It's a bit more like it. Okay, let's do the test. And I'm going to prove to you that this head unit does not clip at any volume. At maximum volume it does not distort, because some of you guys challenged me on that yesterday and said that Pioneer head units distort at almost their maximum volume. But I know for a fact that this one doesn't distort at all. I have this head unit and it's a flagship, best thing they make at the moment. And I just know for a fact that it doesn't distort. So we need the test CD. We'll do the subwoofer channel first, since it's first in the track order. English, so we're going to do track 5 first, which is 40 Hz at 0 dB. 5. Check the settings are all flat. Audio, graphic EQ needs to be on flat. Fader imbalance is zeroed out. Source level is at 0. Rear speakers on, subwoofer on. Speaker levels 0. Crossover is currently off, so that's fine. I can set that later. Listening position is off. Time alignment is on for some reason. Oh no, that's fine. Listening position is off, that's fine. Cool. So everything's flat. So let's just go back to the beginning. I'm going to go to maximum volume on this, which is 40. There you go, you can see maximum volume. 40 Hz test tone. So with the LEDs that are distorting, you can see all these 3 are distorting. That's the output clipping. But this one here, this is the input clipping LED, and that's not going at all. So that's how we know there is 0 distortion coming into the amp. So now I can turn the sub channel down until we only see blue. Just like, I need to get rid of this plastic, it's annoying me. There we go, blue. That's the subwoofer channel done. And now the 1 kHz track at 0 dB, which is track 7. So you can see, still at maximum volume, 40. The output clipping LEDs are going, but the input clipping one right here is still not going. You guys see that? See the input clipping at the top? Still not on. So this head unit does not clip whatsoever. So now I turn these ones down, and we want just blue. Oh. There we go, blue. That one for some reason went back to blue-red. I must be right on the edge. Let's go a wee bit further. There we go, blue. That one keeps going back. There we go, blue. Cool, they're sorted. So now the front channels are set perfectly. Let's try the front one again. Oh, it's gone back to a new channel. We need to go back. We need track 7, thank you. Just double check we got this nice and accurate. Yes. It's just because I'm being ever so gently light with it. So there we go, perfect. Blue, blue, and the subwoofer output was blue. And that's it. The gains on the amp are set. 0 distortion going into the amp and 0 distortion coming out of the amp. Just to prove, look, still at 40. Turn the volume all the way back down. Eject the CD. Turn this off. There we go. Done. So now I can plug in the speaker wires. Sorry guys. And the subwoofer output, and we'll be good. Just because I'm paranoid, I'm just going to double check that none of these subwoofer wires go to ground. So I do have an, so the subwoofer wires do not go to ground. Okay, they're fine. The subwoofer in, now plug the speakers in. The front actually goes on that side. Okay, now I put it up on this bracket which I made. Take my mounting hardware off. Oh, I just realized I have to put this in the amp first. Okay, that's fine. All I have to do is unplug the subwoofer wire and the power one. A washer through the amp, then another washer, then another nut, then another washer. It goes through that thing. It is going to be easy to mount it up there without the being all like this. Hang on, I need to unplug the RCAs now because they have to go under there. And then we underneath put in a washer and then nut. Okay, RCAs because they're going to be easier to plug in before this is actually tightened down. Okay, there we go. And this lifts up, it goes under that. And then the nut on the bottom, which is quite hard to do. How do I do this? What's the best way? How did I do this before? Oh, I put the bracket, I mounted this to the bracket first and then I put the bracket up, I remember now. That's right. Okay, there we go. Now that that's up, remember I wanted this all the way forward like this. Tighten these up. Secure, she's not going anywhere. Plug these back in now, like that. Now I'm going to cable tie this back up the way I had it. Oh, and actually before I do that, let's check it goes, shall we? Subwoofer wires separate. Subwoofer wires are 100% separate, guys. Am I being overly careful? Like, you know, I think I've just been sketched out by how that one randomly broke. The accessory will be fine. Let's do some settings first. We'll leave that flat for now. Subwoofer, yep, no, 100 Hz works good because it's going to be a 10. 100 Hz, maybe a 12 dB slope. Now we'll make it tight, we'll do 100 or do 18. And then the front can be, yeah, the fronts and rears are going to better put at some decent bass. So 12 dB at 63, maybe 8. Yeah, that works better. So we'll go 80 Hz, 12 dB slope, and then the subwoofer 100 Hz, 18 dB slope. Okay.
When you were young, you dreamed of running out onto the field. You dreamed of taking home that decent fellowship. Full boot for a youth competition. Spin 45, see in store for details or visit mobile.com.
It's all working. I need to be in here. This is annoyingly hard. Okay, this is going to prevent any rattling from these big pieces, I believe. Cool, there we go. I put this conduit over the edge here just because the last thing I want is RCAs or power wires hitting and chafing on it. But now I just need to do a couple of cable ties and manage these a bit. I'm wondering how to do it. There we go, guys, I've done my cable management. Yeah, I put that split conduit stuff over the edge of the metal just so it doesn't do any damage to any of the wires around it. And then I've just simply drilled some holes down this lip behind the conduit and put cable ties through it and just secured the wiring all to the edge. And then there's another one down the bottom there, but it's not going through the middle because I obviously couldn't get the drill down there. So yeah, pretty simple. This part's just hanging loose, but it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna, even if it hit that, it's not gonna like rattle on it and make any noise. It's pretty stiff, so it's just gonna sort of sit there. And now I can put this whole panel back on. So now that that is all done and managed and put back together and everything, I can put this side panel back on. Sweet. That actually cannot work more perfectly because as I explained to you guys earlier, the exhaust of the amp is at that end, poking out towards the big gap down there, and the intake is here, so it can actually just suck air straight through this vent and then force it out that way and then out the side of the car because there's that vent down there. So that's going to work really well. The amplifier, I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see it kind of from this angle. It's like right there, and to get it, the vent to touch it, you only have to push it like about maybe 5 mils to a centimeter or something. But like, I don't think it's gonna, this panel's gonna be moving enough even with the subwoofer going for it to actually touch on it. Like, you have to push quite hard to get it to touch it. So that's good. I've got it in a good position. So now I just put in these points. That's back together. Need to get all this stuff out, put the rear trim on, and then the seats come back on last. Actually, I could probably just, for this rear trim, push this forward like that. Get rid of that. Now these nuts I need to get back off. These nuts. Cool. This thing. And then we have to pull up the rubber, pull back and sit here now. Yeah, that's where that sits. Cool. Let's get this. Sweet, so I think this one was working. Yep. This one for some... Ow. Not enough room in this tiny ass little car. Oh yeah. Oh no, it is working, look at that. Oh, it's not locking. Why is that? Why would that be? mechanism for in here, the really complicated ass mechanism which latches when it goes around the bolt and then delatches when you pull the lever, and also had a key barrel for a lock in it, was all up to whack, and I had to like kind of disassemble it and reassemble it to get it back into orientation and then get that in the right place. But it's working now, so that's good. Okay, back seat next. Now everything is back together. Sweet! The Audi is officially finished, bar the fact that it's missing a subwoofer. So now what I'm going to do is try and see if I can get that Alpine Type S 10-inch hanging from the tray. Just a temporary one for the time being. Make the customer happy, you know? Yeah, nah guys, sorry, the Alpine Type S 10 is not going to fit up under here. It's just a case of, I'll try and sort of face you guys up like that. It's just kind of a case of, if I put this up here and have a look with the torch, I can't get any of the screw holes to line up with the ones on this Alpine one. All the bolts and screw holes on this are further out than all of the holes on the Type S. So short of drilling new holes in this, which I don't want to do, this will not mount to the bottom of here. So unfortunately, for the time being, he's just going to have to go without a subwoofer, which is really unfortunate, because man, I was so keen to see how it sounded when it was finished after it was run in, and it was sounding so good. It's just such a shame, because it was sounding so good with the Rockford Fosgate one, and I really wanted to hear how it sounded. And also because I haven't got a sub in here anymore, I can't you know, hunt down any more rattles and you know, eliminate them. So we won't know until we do that later on. Oh well, I tried. Okay guys, well that's gonna be it for today. Yeah, got the new amp in and installed, it's all running. I've tuned the system for the most part, bar time alignment. I haven't done that yet, but what I'm actually going to do is bring in my auto EQ mic, plug it into the stereo and use the built-in auto EQ and time alignment function, so that it basically just sets itself up without me having to do any, you know, special measuring or anything like that. And I'll just do that tomorrow, and then it'll be set up for the car perfectly. So that's going to be it for today guys. Thank you for watching. Choose to be happy. I'll do a final rundown on all of the things I did to the car and show you the tunings and all of that sort of stuff tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Kite Ano.